Julius, the baby of the world. For Susan, the editor of the world. Before Julius was born, Lilly was the best big sister in the world. She gave him things. She told him secrets. She sang lullabies to him every night. After Julius was born, it was a different story. Lilly looked the things back. She pinched his tail, and she yelled insulting comments into his crib. I am a queen. They said, I hate Julius. But her parents loved him. They kissed him with weak pink nose. They admired him with small black eyes. They stroked his sweet white fur. Lilly thought his wet pink nose was slimy. She thought his small black eyes were deadly. And thought the sweet white fur was not so sweet, especially when they needed his diaper changed. Julie is the baby of the world. Chimed Lily's parents. Disgusting, said Lilly. Lilly had to share her room with Jesus. As Julius grows up away, I get the room back. She asked. Julius is going away nowhere, said the mother. He didn't. He stayed, and he stayed. Lilly was supposed to be very quiet while Julius slept. After Julius goes away, I could talk to a normal person again, she decided. Julius isn't going anywhere. Lily's father didn't. He didn't. He stayed and stayed and stayed. You want Julius to grow up to be extraordinary as you. So we must tell him constantly how beautiful he is and how much we love him. But no one was looking. Lilly had her own idea. But when Julius grew up and liberal as he was, with Lily's father, we must sing him his numbers and letters whenever possible. When no one was looking, Lilly had her own idea. Lily's parents were more than a bit doubtful about leaving the two of them alone together. Lilly tried to frighten Jesus with her nifty disguises. She leaned back and tried to make him disappear. When that didn't work, she simply pretended that he didn't exist. Lilly spent more time than usual in the uncomfortable chair. Lily's parents showed her with hugs and kisses and treats all the shapes and sizes. They even let her stay up 15 minutes every night. It didn't matter. Nothing worked. I am a queen, said Lilly. I hate Julius. But her parents loved him. They kissed him with wet pink nose. They admired him with small black eyes. And they stroked his sweet white fur. Julius is the baby of the world, chimed Lily's parents. Disgusting, said Lilly. Lily's parents were amused with Julius' blew away bubble. Can you believe it? They exclaimed. But Julie did the exact same thing. They said Lily's mind our manners, please. Lily's parents were dazzled. When Julius dabbled and grumbled, such a vocabulary, they exclaimed. But if Lilly did the exact same thing, they said, Lilly, let's act our age, please. Lily's parents were amazed when Julius screamed. With the lung capacity, they explained. But if Lilly did the exact same thing, they said, let's extract some strain ourselves, please. One morning, while Julie was busy playing opera, her mother said, why don't you put some of the verbal exuberance to good use? Why don't you tell Julius a nice story? He's too little to understand his story, said Lilly. He can understand his own way. Okay, Lilly smiling. Julius in the germ of the world, by me, said Lilly. Once upon a time, said Lilly, we were a baby. His name was Julius. Julius was really a germ. Julius was a dust under your own bed. It was a number. He would be 0. He was a food. He would a raisin. 0 is nothing. Raisin tastes like dirt. The end, said Lilly. The story ended in her 10 minutes in an uncomfortable chair. Lilly warned her friends and trusted wisdom with Victor and her about babies. Trust me, they're dreadful. She warned strangers about her babies too. She would live regret a bump in her little dress. They said, Lilly ran away 7 times in one morning. I'm leaving this time, she called. Would you know where you were to find me? The same afternoon, Lilly had a tea party and everyone but Julius. His invitation was soon to be lost in the mail, she explained. Lilly had glorious dreams about Julius. And ghastly nightmares too. Lily's parents showed her compliments and praise and nices in all shapes and sizes. They even had her drink her juice out of the antique china cup. It didn't matter, nothing worked. I'm a queen, said Lilly. I hate Julius. But her parents loved him. They kissed and went pink nose. They admired his eyes, black eyes, and they always stroked his sweet white fur. Julius, the baby of the world, climbed Julie's parents. Disgusting, said Lilly. When Lily's mother felt up to it, she planned a festival celebration in honor of Julius. And all the relatives came. They were quite so spread. What's the big deal? Said Lilly. Haven't they all seen Silly Lump before? Apparently not. All afternoon, the relatives hovered over Julius. They kissed his wet pink nose. They admired his small black eyes. They stroked his white fur. Disgusting, said Cousin Garland. What? Julius said, I think we want pink nose is slimy. I think its small black eyes are beady. I think this white fur is not so sweet. His needs his diaper change. Lily's nose twitched. His eyes narrowed. His fur stood on end, and all her tail quivered. You're talking about my brother, little Lilly, and for the information, his nose is shiny. His eyes are sparkling. His fur smells like perfume. Cousin Garland was speechless. He can blow bubbles. He can babble and gargle, and you can scream better than anyone. Cousin Garland took his spot in his room. Stop, said I'm queen. Watch me closely. Lilly picked up Jesus. She kissed him on the pink nose. She admired his small black eyes. She stroked his eyes, white fur. She turned, said Lilly, handing over Jesus to Garland, kissed the door, and Lilly commanded. Now, repeat after me, said, Julius is the baby of the world. Jesus is the baby of the world. And Garland louder and louder. Julius is the baby of the world. And from now on, he was in everyone's opinion, especially in Lily's.